core CPI met expectations this morning, but that's not the reason why the market went up today. The main reason is because Coreweave and supermicrocomputer went up over 19%, pushing up the entire AI sector up today. SpaceX going up over 10%, as well as Nvidia going up 3%, and it pushed up the entire NASDAQ and the S&P 500. I believe that's the main reason why the market was green today. Although I will say core CPI meeting expectations this morning, it does have a little bit to do with the market going up today. And the main reason is because of the future Federal Reserve meetings. If you looked just 2 weeks ago, the chances of the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates was at 80% to 86% for the September meeting as well as the October meeting. Well, since then, especially after this morning's CPI print, those probabilities of increasing interest rates have now been cut in half. It's now dropped down to 40% chance. As far as leaving them unchanged, it's now 60%. Now, when it comes to the October meeting, the odds of a rate hike has now dropped down to 45%. And the chances of them to leave rates unchanged is also 45%. They're going to definitely keep rates unchanged all throughout the year. Unless, of course, things change from now. But with that said, the price of oil has been dropping, especially in the last few weeks. So that means that the September CPI inflation will be less than expected, most likely. But going back to Coreweave, supermicrocomputer going up 20%. If you are interested in buying any of those stocks, we're going to open up the charts and take a look and see which level you should buy it at. So let's look at Coreweave. All these different levels are my support and resistance levels. So if you take a look here, it dropped and went right back up, and it tested this 85 level right here. It's tested it multiple times. So that would have been a good time to buy. As you see right now, it's got up well over 110. So a good time for you to buy would be 103 because it tested that level multiple times. So around 103 to 105, those levels will be good to buy. If you look at supermicrocomputer, I don't really care too much about them, but if you were to buy them, once again, same thing happened here. This is actually back in March. That was a solid trade. I definitely bought some there, since got rid of it. But that would have been a good time for you to buy as well. $20 and 25.8. And then even up to last week or 2 weeks ago, it dropped down to my level 25.8 right there, almost perfectly. And then it went up to 37. So those levels would have been nice. If you are looking to buy more, 37.4 is a good level. If it drops down, even go down to the 200 exponential moving average. If you don't know, that's another support level, so that will be another solid level to buy. Now, SpaceX just doesn't have enough data for me to buy, but they did have one of its first support and resistance levels, which is at 130. So if it were to drop down to 130, hey, that's a good level to start buying. Now, I'm thinking about the long term, not the short term. So short-term trades are going to be a little different, but 130 will be a good price to get it at. And then Nvidia is long gone for me, but a good level would have been the 200 exponential moving average. But even at the 202 level would have been good. And even right now, wow, 216, solid, very solid support level right there. See how it tested it multiple times? Let's make that level solid right now. 216, 215 level, tested that level multiple times, and that would have been a good time to buy. Especially if you have any options. You can make a lot more profit with options. Obviously, it's risky, but if you're looking to make a quick buck, maybe that's one thing you could look into. Now, I will say a lot of the stocks in the Magnificent Seven did actually drop today, aside from SpaceX and Nvidia. But if you look at Meta dropped 3% today, and I do not know why. It dropped over 3%. And if you look at this chart, now it's looking like it may drop more, but if it does, I do have my alert here at 559. And why I put that, because this is where around 559 to 555, that is actually a good support level. And if it drops lower than that, I'll continue buying at 541 to 540. And then lastly, I'll buy more at 524. If you look at this chart, its high was at 796. It's down almost 40% since then, and it doesn't make any sense. One of the reasons why it dropped as of this last few weeks is that its cap expenditure is going up and it's messing up with its cash flow. But the fact that stocks are dropping because they're reinvesting their money into infrastructure and their future profits doesn't really make sense why the stock is dropping. But hey, I'm happy it is dropping because I get to buy it for cheaper. And so when it does go back to $7.96, I'll be up quite a bit. But if you do have any stocks for me to look into, hey, make sure you drop the ticker symbol below and I'll be glad to look into it on next week's video.